Welcome to Radiant Guidance. My name is Molly. Today I'm going to be discussing working with the lunar phases and moon mapping. I recently released a 2024 lunar guide that you can find on my website. It's very affordable, 19-page PDF with every new and full moon month by month, as well as the eclipses for 2024. So you can use this in tandem with your planner or calendar, Google Calendar, etc., to map out your visions for the year ahead, whether they're shorter term or longer term. So I'm just going to briefly refresh you on why it's important or useful to work with these moon phases. So traditionally, in the Farmer's Almanac and in traditional agricultural models, the new to full moon is a time of growth and moving towards something. The energy is growing. Now, around the new moon is a period of darkness. It's when the sun and the moon are aligned and the moon is in the shadow of the earth. So it appears to be black, appears to be this void. And this is where we gather inspiration and we gather insights. A few days following the new moon is when you can really announce your intention and get that little bit of light that's growing from the moon to see what you're working towards. And so, as we build up to the full moon, there's a fruiting that happens, a flowering that happens. It's a moment of illumination, of revelation. Now, in Vedic philosophy, the new moon is connected to Rahu and the full moon to Saturn. So, cleansing of those karmas can be done by fasting on a new or full moon. Rahu is the north node, it's our kind of uninhibited drive that can be a little bit like a hungry ghost. And Saturn is, of course, a very karmic planet connected to the structure that we've created for our life and our limitation of time. And so when you fast on the full moon, you can be honoring Saturn and this idea of coming into your awareness of your relationship with your sense of structure and foundation. So as we get to the full moon, it's more relational, it's illuminated. You could say it's a time of truth because we have the fullest insight. And this flowering phase isn't the end of the cycle. We continue on to we go into the waning cycle, back to the new moon again. And this is a period of integration. This is a period of spreading the seed, so to speak, of that flower so that we can harvest. And it's an equally important part of the cycle where the energy is kind of lessening, but there's an integration happening so that by the next cycle, we have a potentially greater understanding and a new vision to work from going into the next cycle. So the moon guide is really cool because I not only talk about I list out all of the new and full moons based on the tropical zodiac, but I also include the nakshatras according to the sidereal or star-based zodiac. Now the nakshatra is a word that means section of the sky, and it has to do with a more specific breakdown of signs. And each nakshatra is considered auspicious or good for certain activities. And this is really cool because it gives you so much more specific information as to which activities are really beneficial under these major lunations. And I also include in this calendar the days where the moon is void of course. Void of course is similar to the moon being kind of retrograde, and so these are time periods. It's usually an hour or two, sometimes a little longer, where the moon has no aspect to any major planet before it changes into the next sign. So wherever I have listed void of course, you're going to want to look specific to your time zone what those hours of the day are, and this is a time to avoid any contracts or anything very formal that you want to be permanent. It's similar, like I said, to imagine if the moon was retrograde. So that being said, I hope you check out the 2024 Lunar Guide. It should give you a lot of great insight and planning to your year ahead. And hopefully it sparks some inspiration in you so that not only are you looking at what nakshatra the moon's in, what house it's falling in for you according to your charts. And you can align not just on a super personal level, but also get a pulse of what the collective will be feeling on those new or full moons. Another important little tip I'll give you is that the new moon is usually a time of an inward recollection and reflection, right? Because it's in this darkness, in this void. So these are usually times if you're going to plan something with the public, say you're a teacher, run a business, work with the public in any capacity, lead groups. These are usually times where people are feeling more inward and might not be feeling as social. So if you're doing something that's very inward based, like teaching meditation or any other type of like more inward healing modality, these can be good times. But in general, the full moon is going to be more when the energy is at its peak and when it's a more relational time across the board. I personally worked in a herbal apothecary for many years, and it was a really funny observation. Whenever the moon was in Aries, I noticed people were way more card swipe happy. Like people would be buying big purchases, putting them on credit cards. And it was a very clockwork thing. So, armed with this information, you'll start to notice patterns and you'll start to deepen your self intimacy too, because wherever the moon is falling in your personal natal chart, that area of your life, whatever house that is going to be activated. And why not align your goals to those activations? So I hope you enjoy the guide. It's on my website and I'll share the link below. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share with a friend. Have a beautiful day.